Okay. So this is the person I'm interviewing for my project. So can you state your name?
My name is Dean Moore.
Okay. So, what was media use like in the 1950s, the 60s, the 70s, or the 80s?
Primarily your media was newspaper, magazines, television, and radio.
What was the first music that you purchased that you can remember, and what was the format in?
The first music that I purchased would have been an 8-track tape, which is bigger than a cassette tape, and it is used for transferring around. You could drive in your car rather than have a cassette. You would punch in an 8-track tape instead, really big and fat, and it was Pink Floyd's The Wall.
And what format was it in?
8-track.
Okay. Okay. Without the internet, how did you get your news?
Without the internet, we use newspapers, magazines that came out once a week, and we would have to go to this thing called a library and actually have to look up reference manuals and encyclopedias and books.
How did you stay in touch with family and friends? And where did they live?
Telephone, if they were nearby. If they were far away or if you were on a special vacation. Most of my relatives were from Florida and from North Carolina and some out in Arkansas. So if we went out west or went real far north, Vermont, someplace like that, we would send, rather than sending a letter, we would send a postcard. So that person would have a picture of where we were. They could understand, this is the Golden Gate Bridge. I was here, and here's an actual picture of it. Rather than actually be able to snap a picture of it now and send it over the web. We didn't have that capability.
Okay, what shows on TV were the biggest, and how big was the TV?
The TV was about the same size width as it is today, 36 inches. Depth, it was roughly 18 to 24 inches deep because it was a tube. TV shows that were popular in black and white, everything from Gunsmoke, which was a western, to I Love Lucy, which was a comedy, and all the way to color TV, which was still Gilligan's Island, and you still had the game shows. So you had things like The Price is Right was a game show, which is now Bob Barker, used to be Monty Hall. Let's Make a Deal, things like that. And then talk shows that just started. Johnny Carson had probably the biggest talk show of all. It was on at night, and it was a big deal if you get to sit up till 11 o'clock on a Friday night to watch Johnny Carson. So those are really big times.
What was the most memorable story, either from a newspaper, the radio, or the TV? What was the story? What was it about, and how was the story told to you that was so memorable? Some ideas, for example, would be when Ronald Reagan was shot, when the Challenger blew up, when Nixon resigned, and when the Colt suicide happened in Jamestown.
For me, the biggest, when I was very young, was the U.S. landing on the moon. Was the Apollo landing on the moon and watching Neil Armstrong walk on the moon. He was a man, black and white, walk on the moon. I was 5 years old. And then when I was much older than that, I actually saw, I was in high school, Reagan being shot. So we heard that, got to see it, got to see the picture. What made it memorable is it was live. That sound that you hear on the radio, that annoying beeping sound, and then this has only been a test. Well, this wasn't a test anymore. This was the real thing. And the other one also when I was in high school was we had the 3 Mile Island, which is out towards Harrisburg, melted down. So we actually had a nuclear reactor within an hour and a half of us melt down, and we never really thought anything about it. But yet we would hear every 2 to 5 minutes there would be an alarm on the radio telling us what to expect. We didn't know if we were going to be packing up in school and going into New York, or maybe even going all the way down as far as the Carolinas or all the way down to Florida, just to try to get away.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.